Hey guys, it's Taryn, and if you're new to my channel, we would love it if you would subscribe. Also give this video a thumbs up and comment down below any new ideas or videos that you would like to see me do. Today our video is about a new tag that's going around. So there's a new tag called Baby Name Tag 2019 that's going around, and there's a couple questions about what baby names I like and don't like and which names I would use per circumstances. So I'm going to go through this video. If this is a video that you think you would like, if you like to hear about new baby names or unique names, this is the one for you. Also, if you're a YouTube creator and you're watching this now, I'm challenging you to do the tag as well. And if you hear some crying, it's just because little Ayla is here laying beside me right now. So okay, so I guess I should start this off or preface this video with the fact that I do have 3 girls. I've only given birth to one of them, so I have 2 stepdaughters and 1 of my own daughters. So my oldest stepdaughter, her name is Aniah Taylor. And my second stepdaughter, her name is Athena Renee. And obviously I didn't name either of them, but they're both A names. My husband's name is Alex, so they kind of went with the A theme after him. And my newest daughter, her name is Ayla Ann. And she is the only child I have ever named. I do plan on having more children someday, and I don't want to give away the names that I plan to use. So with this first question, they're names that I either know my husband doesn't agree with, but I love them. So like, say that I was just gonna like adopt a child on my own and I wasn't with anyone, these are names I would like to use, or something else. So all I know is that these names will not be used by us, so you're free to use them, but we do have names in mind for future children that I don't want to reveal yet. So the first question is, if you had a baby tomorrow, what would you call them? And you're supposed to name a boy and a girl name. So with the boy's name, I would name him Arlo, and this is kind of like a new name for me. I've kind of been like looking at names for a long time, but my husband doesn't love it. And Arlo, I think it's a very beautiful name, even for a boy. So and then for a girl, this one may be weird for some people, but for some reason I just love the name Axel for a girl. So when we were trying to find a name for Ayla, I was looking through all kinds of names, and for some reason Axel stuck out to me as a good girl's name. And I know lots of people name their children unisex names nowadays, so like that's not super uncommon, but Axel is also always known as like a really manly name, and I think it just sounds like a really, like, I don't know, badass girl's name or something. Like, I don't know, I just always think that it sounds like a really good girl's name, and I always thought it would be cute to pair it with the middle name Jordyn. So Axel Jordyn would be a girl, and my husband hates that name, so like he would never let me use it. So the next question is, would you rename yourself, what would you rename yourself keeping your first initial? So my first initial is a T, and I guess maybe the name Teaghan. I think that that's a pretty name, and it's kind of unique. I also like the spelling Teaghan. I kind of like unique spellings and stuff like that. So Teaghan would probably be what I would rename myself. But I do love my name, so honestly I would probably keep my name. What would you have been called if you were the opposite gender? So I had actually texted my mom this morning to ask what she would have named me, and she didn't respond with a name. I know that she had written down Brooklyn as possibly a name choice, and I think she was actually thinking more of that for my youngest sister at that time, but her name is actually Lauryn, so she got Lauryn and not Brooklyn. But if I was an opposite gender, I don't know, I can't even imagine if I was the opposite gender what my name would be. But I really like unique names, so something like, I don't know, I met a kid named Terrain once, and his name was spelled very similar to mine and very much like mine, so I guess we can go with that, Terrain. So now we have the favorite vintage baby name for a boy and a girl. So don't judge me if you don't think these names are vintage. I think that they're vintage, or these are vintage names to me. So for a boy, I chose Baldwin. And I know that sounds really weird, and a lot of you might not like that, but for some reason, Baldwin, I just like it. And then for a girl, I like Juniper. And I would probably never name my kids these names, especially because I know my husband wouldn't agree with those. But those names are very pretty to me. So for the next question, we have favorite nature names. So what is your favorite name that comes from some kind of nature for a boy and a girl? And for a boy, I would probably use the word, or the name, Sterling. And I actually am from Sterling, Kansas. So I'm from, my hometown is Sterling, Kansas, which is just a little tiny town right in the middle of Kansas. And it's actually a very common name around here, mostly middle names and things like that, but a lot of people from Sterling have used that name as like a tribute to their hometown and things like that. And that's what I like that's what I like about that name the most. But it does come from like silver, so that is like a nature typed name. And for a girl, some people might use this for a boy's name, but I kind of like the name Wren for a girl. So that's what I would choose for my nature names. My favorite YouTuber name or baby name. So the YouTuber that I thought of when I was thinking of like my favorite YouTubers that have like cool names is Marcia Bell, and I really love her husband's name. His name is Uriah. So Marcia and Uriah, and I think their names are both super cool, and I really like them, and they're unique, so I like that about them. And I'm trying to think of like a baby name, and I hadn't come up with a baby name. I do like Karen and Kwa from the KK and Baby J. If you haven't watched them, I'm sure you have, but if you haven't watched them, I'll link them down below. The Bell family as well. But KK and Baby J, they just named their newest son Sutton Rain, and his name is really pretty, I think, and it has that kind of nature feel as well, with Rain as the middle name. So the next question is favorite literary name, and I didn't really have one for a boy, but for a girl I liked Ophelia. That's kind of a weird name, and I just think that it's kind of old-fashioned, but also very unique and pretty. Not a lot of people use that name, so I would probably go with Ophelia. And for a boy, let me think. I kind of like Leonardo. It's just very, I feel like, prestigious, and I think of like Leonardo DiCaprio and things like that. So I like the name Leonardo. Favorite O name that isn't Olivia. So Olivia is what they don't want you to use. So for a boy, I think I would use, this could actually be a boy or a girl name, but I like the name Olive. I've kind of always liked that name, and I don't know what it is about the name Olive that I like, but I just think it's really unique and cute. And I've also kind of like thought about the name Oz before, like just O-Z, Oz. And I think that that could be a cute name. What did you want to be called when you were little? So my middle name is Chantel, and I went through a couple different phases. One of my phases, I hated my name. So like when I was younger, I used to say that I hated my middle name, and I wish that my mom wouldn't have given me that middle name. And I probably went through a little bit of time with people teasing me about my middle name, and so that's why I didn't like it. And then I grew up a little, and I started to appreciate my middle name, and I think it's actually very beautiful. Chantel, C-H-A-N-T-E-L. And so I would actually go with that as a first name probably if I had to choose any other name for myself. What names did you veto immediately when you were naming your baby, or in the future if you were naming your baby? And I honestly vetoed a lot of names because I like unique names, and I have a problem naming any of my children names of like people I already know, because I have like a hard time in my head thinking like, oh, that's my child and not so-and-so or someone else that I know. So I automatically vetoed a lot of names. But my husband is even more picky than I am. He is African American, so he is black, and he always tells me that all the names I choose are white people names, and our kid can't have like a straight up white person name. So I don't know. I really liked the name Archer, and he hated that name. He thought that was the whitest name ever. So anyway, I'm not trying to be offensive by any means to anybody, but that's just like our situation and our conversation about it. So yeah, basically any common names like the name Daniel or the name Steven, I wouldn't use them. Okay, and so I think that was the last question on the tag. So it says below that you're supposed to tag some other people that you want to do this tag. And so the people I want to tag are Kourtney from the channel Lovely Kourtney. I want to tag Tiara J from Tiara J Beauty and Tiara J TV. So she has 2 different channels. And I'm going to link all these channels down below so you guys can go check them out and follow them. And then the last person I want to tag is Victoria from Victoria Fierce. So I'm going to tag you 3 ladies, and I would like to see a video up from you. Okay, thank you guys for stopping by. I'd appreciate if you would subscribe and like this video. See you on our next video.